Hi everyone, Alan from Newlands Pets. Hope you are well and welcome to today's Ask Alan, episode 31. Thank you for all the questions. They're great questions and they're helping so many people out, and we enjoy coming up with the answers for you. So without further ado, let's start the questions. Question 1. I'm getting a puppy and I want to give it the best food possible. I slightly laughed in that question, not because it's a silly question, it's a great question, it's a perfect question in many ways, but it's impossible to answer because there's no such thing as a perfect food for any one particular dog. There's good foods and there's bad foods, and I think we all know what they are, and if you don't, we've spoken about that over the last sort of 12 years, but there isn't a perfect food for any one particular dog, same as there isn't a perfect food for one particular person. What you eat may suit you very, very well, but it won't necessarily suit me. So we can show you examples of foods that are really, really good quality and on paper are fantastic, but until you start trying it and see where it suits your dog, you're never going to know whether it's the best and perfect food for your dog. So not really an answer, because I personally don't believe there can be, but it gives you an idea of what we're looking at. Question 2, how much to feed a kitten raw? The age will make a difference, and of course the size of the kitten will make a massive difference. So in broad terms, you're looking at 5 to 6% of their body weight, which is fairly simple to work out, but if not, we have a feeding chart for cats and kittens, and you can just look at their weight, the age they are, and work it out. But it's 5 to 6% of body weight is how much you feed a kitten when you're feeding raw. Question 3, what age can you start giving raw? I don't know whether this is referring to cats or dogs, but you can wean onto raw. There's no issue with weaning onto raw. In fact, we have products for it. We have weaning paste. Generally speaking, the cat, the kitten and dog weaning paste are the same product. So they don't tend to have offal in them. They tend to be meat and ground very, very finely, almost to a pate, like a pate you and I would eat. So they tend to be very, very fine for obvious reasons. We're talking about small animals, but you can start that from 6-7 weeks. And more now we're getting dogs coming to us where customers have picked up their dog from somewhere and it's already weaned onto raw. So they want to continue with raw, and that is a change in the last 5 years. It used to be people would move over to raw later on in the dog's life, but that's a massive change. So you can definitely wean onto raw. Question 4, what age can dogs have rabbit ears? This is a bit of a tricky one, in as much as the advice varies so much out there. I'm always a fan of erring on the side of caution, and you know your dog better than anyone, so something that's written on a packet doesn't necessarily mean you have to follow that. It's your decision, but definitely from at least 6 to 7 months will be absolutely fine, but it does depend on the dog. You get small dogs, you get big dogs, you get some dogs that want to swallow things all the way down whole, and you get some dogs that gently chew on stuff. So much will depend on your dog. So be sensible about it. Don't leave your dog alone, especially with things, well, any chew, to be honest. Don't leave your dog alone with chews and things like that. It carries a risk with it, there is no doubt about that. So bear that in mind whenever you're giving chews, and certainly to begin with, even if you're going to be around the home when you're giving a chew, to begin with, always supervise, maybe hold on to it when you're starting your dog off on treats and chews like that. And that concludes all the questions for episode 31. Thank you for getting your questions in. We absolutely love answering them. See you soon.